All right, y'all, what's up? KUT here. This is the dark side of hip hop. Quiet, yucky, and secret. This is a new little series I'm gonna do. I talk about on this channel anyway. I talk about vinyl records and all the cool stuff that's in hip hop. Collect some signatures. Got a little museum here. But on this series, I'm gonna start talking about the underside of hip hop. We're gonna take a little closer look at certain topics within the culture, man, and just bring it to your attention. This is a small channel. I don't get a lot of views. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but if it catch your ears, hey, maybe you learn something. Maybe you'll research something. Maybe you'll tell me something. But we're just gonna take a look at hip hop a little closer. So we all love hip hop. Everybody, most of us, if you watching this channel, you probably grew up with it. During the boom bap era, you probably caught them good 90s, late 80s, going into the 90s, where it was super, super dope. Just some classic records came out. You probably caught all that stuff. And when I say hip hop, I'm usually referring to the elements, the MCing, graffiti art, breakdancing, DJing, fashion, language, beatboxing, all that stuff. I'm talking about all that when I speak of hip hop. And then even down to the gritty underground spots in the underground MCing type stuff. That's the hip hop that I'm about, So yeah, we all love that stuff. And then we came up in it, and then those were the early beginnings. It was like that, where those things were really highlighted. You saw a lot more of that. These days you really don't. You just got more or less a rapper and some 808s on the beat. It ain't really super, super creative as it used to be. Like the sample era, man, it was really creative. Some of the producers were doing their thing, chopping beats and stuff like that. A lot has changed. There's still producers that do it, but a lot has changed. Now it's just about the fast money, and it works for them, so good for them. And then when you're looking at the business of hip hop, a lot of people have made a lot of money off of it because, us black people, we've blown it up. Like Puma or Adidas or Nike, we'll start wearing these brands and, we blow them up. People catch on. They catch on to our sense of style and fashion. It's been going on for a long time, from Timberland to New Balance. I mean, all those brands, Fila, Tide One, if you go way back, these Tide One tracksuits and all those brands, like hip hop blew them all up. They wouldn't be where they were if it wasn't for hip hop. So that's just another something else that I look at. And to keep things moving forward, I like all the aspects of it. I would read credits, on the tape. So I get a tape and read the credits and find out who did what. Learn about, different graphic designers and different artists, and learn about producers and engineers and who worked on this record and who did this and who did that. And it was always intriguing to me. So it's just it was cool. It was cool. And there's a cool culture, culture, that word right there. Yeah, cult is right in that word. So we're gonna keep that in mind as we talk about these things. But the main story that I want to, outside of the glamour and glitz stuff, you see all these MCs, you see these rappers, they all dope, but there's this one story that's been lingering around out there that nobody will address. None of the big time rappers anyway, nobody talks about it. It's that story out of Bronx River. And when I say Bronx River, many of you might probably already know. It's the allegations / charge. I believe it's in court right now. Africa Bambaataa. He's a pioneer. Him, Kool Herc, Flash, Grand Wizard Theodore. These are some of the early DJs. But Bambaataa is caught up right now in this child molestation stuff. It's a big story to those that know. Many people don't want to deal with it. I mean, it's already on record. We had 2 people that had came out and their names kind of blew up. One of them is going backwards on his statements now, but it's already out there. You done explained in detail what Bambaataa did to you. His name is Ron Savage. Then you got Hassan Campbell, another victim. He was definitely a victim. A lot of people say he wasn't because they were around each other when he was older. I just think he kept going back. I think he did abuse him when he was young, but he just stayed around them for some odd reason, and it morphed into a weird, some kind of relationship, But he was definitely abused. He was underage, so I'll give him that, even though we may not like what he's doing on his channel or whatever, but I think he was definitely abused. And there was other people that came out against Africa Bambaataa. And Bambaataa is like hip-hop royalty, hip-hop legend. That's why this story is so sticky, and a lot of people, I think, don't want to touch it because of his ties. And then the Zulu Nation. He's the head of the Zulu Nation, or was the head of the Zulu Nation, which is a big, big organization out of New York, like the birthplace of hip-hop. And it's just real sticky, and nobody don't want to touch it. I don't know if people just don't want to ruffle any feathers. one of my favorite MCs, KRS-One, they asked him about it. He just blew it off. Oh, whatever, they gotta deal with that. That was like foul. Like a lot of people left KRS-One because of that statement. And Chris is like the teacher. Like he's supposed to be for the kids and protecting the youth, all that. It was a bad thing to say. It was a bad look, I thought. He took a backlash for that. But and he still, as far as I know, I ain't hear him. Nothing never came out from it. But a lot of people definitely came at him. You can search YouTube. It's on here. It's on YouTube. All about it. A lot of people went at Chris for that. But he stands with Bambaataa, I believe. Just my belief. I think he stands strong with Zulu Nation. Not gonna say he's a Zulu member, but Bambaataa, he consider him like Bam's like high up, like royalty, according to KRS-One statements. I ain't making nothing up. You can dig around and find it. But when the story broke, it probably was around 2013 about the molestation stuff. It's a few key names if you really want to get the gist and how deep this story go. There's a guy by the name of Khalil Amani. He has some great information because he wrote this story early on. He had wrote an article for it. He was writing for K-Slay, he's writing for allhiphop.com, and he has his own books and stuff, but he had wrote the article about this molestation because Bam had wound up getting stabbed by another young man, and the story, caught on. He got it for his boss, which is DJ K-Slay. Shout out to DJ K-Slay. K-Slay is dope, man. Rest in peace. Graffiti writer. I love, he did his art and stuff like that. Street Sweeper, all his hip-hop stuff. He's hip-hop legend. He passed away, though. But Khalil Amani is working for K-Slay, and he wrote the article for Straight Stuntin' magazine. It came out. Star had the story. It's confusion on who had it first. I think Khalil could have had it first, but Star had got some people contacting him and telling their story. Ron Savage and Hassan Campbell actually told their story on Shot 97. These videos are still up. You can find them on YouTube. Just do some searching. Star is from the Star and Buck Wild show from years ago. He had some MTV stuff. He was a radio DJ out of New York. Hot 97 used to be over there. He did his thing. He's considered a legend in radio and stuff when it comes to hip hop radio. He still got a show, Shot 97. You can find stuff on him covering this story. And Leila Wills, she's out of Chicago, journalist. She stays on this story. She stays on it. She ain't letting it go away. She has a documentary she put together called Trapped in a Culture. It's all these parts with many members of hip hop talking on it. I'll take what I said earlier back that ain't nobody speak on it. There is quite a few artists that speaks on this topic and they knew all about it. Chuck D, I can't remember what he said. I know Lord Jamar for a fact said he had been heard about it from years and years ago that Bam was messing with young boys. So the story's out there, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's in court right now with a John Doe. There's this one person who did not put his name out to the public. It's in court in New York. I'm not sure if Bam's showing up, or I'm not sure if he has to show up to court or not, but it's definitely being talked about. And people are definitely on this story. But this is a story that people are coming at Leila Wills for doing this. What she's doing, she has a Hip Hop Stands with Survivors. There's an organization that they do protests. They Hip Hop Stand with Survivors. That's what they stand. They stand with the survivors, and they're going against anybody who's like pedophile types in the industry. So Bam is like, at the center of this. And there's other victims out there that had came forward. I've heard Star, he had a few guys on there. Like some of them were in the UK, told stories about coming to the US in the early 80s, I think late 70s, early 80s, and met Bam, and he did some stuff to him or tried. One guy almost got trapped in his apartment. Some crazy stories out there. I'm not sure if it's true, but guy told some convincing stories, and what man would go and make up a story like that? So you gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, this is definitely the dark side of hip hop. This is that story that's hanging around out there that none of the real like Source Magazine and nobody won't really touch. They not really, even hip hop pioneers and legends, nobody's really grabbing the story and running with it. Even the Zulus knew about it. A lot of them that came forward and they left Bam. It was a split, from what I understand. But Bambaataa, like I said, this song Planet Rock, looking for the perfect beat, searching for the perfect beat rather. These are like legendary tracks that he did or was involved with, and people hold him up as some god, like he can't do no wrong. And I don't look at it like that. So it's just one of them things that when it comes to hip hop that we gotta look at. Like, we like this culture, we like the music and all that stuff, which even the music we can bring into question because of how dark some of that can be. I mean, where do you draw the line? Like, what's what? Records these days, I don't get that many records. I got, as far as new artists and new albums, I got the latest. I got Nas. I think it's mostly more underground stuff. And Nas, I like him because he brings a balance. You know, he'll talk about what he talk about, but it's not really, it ain't really too dark. He talk about his flash and his lifestyle and stuff, but he definitely dropped knowledge, his jewels in his music. That's why I always liked him a little more than Jay, because he always put jewels in there. I always like the knowledge and a little knowledge. Just give me a balance. Like, if you're gonna talk gangster stuff, do a balance. But talking gangster stuff, it definitely plays a role, I believe, in the world. I think it plays a role, and I think some people pick up that, you know, give you a certain feel when you're about to go into warrior mode, that dark type music. But anyway, like I said, that story, that band bottom molestation story, is definitely out there. Check those names I mentioned. Go Khalil Amani. He has a YouTube channel. Star Shot 97. Star don't really deal with it too much, but there's some old videos up. It's still out there. And Leila Wills. Those are like the three people that stay on this story and has it documented from when it first broke, probably 2013. It's now 2023. Bam was running around. He was still trying to do shows. A couple protests shut him down. He lost some gigs because protesters and people, you know, fighting it, going and saying something, you know, people speaking up. And it seems weird. It's like it's almost tied in with the R. Kelly stuff. And then, bam, if you know who Dr. York is, which is a whole nother, that's a whole nother lane. He was a Yorkie. He came up, I think they kind of crossed paths and had some dialogue, similar, wearing the Egyptian stuff and wearing a lot of the medallions and the clothes, and they have a certain look to them. So it's just a lot of connections when you start looking deep. At this thing. So this is just something I wanted to bring forward to y'all on the dark side of hip hop. Hope you enjoyed this, just scratching the surface. So you can definitely do some searches if you want to know more about it and see what you're supporting, and watch out who you are supporting, because you really don't know some of these people. I mean, they put them in front of us. They're entertainers, they're rap stars, they're rap superstars, but who knows what they got going on. I just give them benefit of the doubt until something comes up. But KRS-One, like I said, my favorite MC. On that Sex and Violence album, that one song, 13 and Good, they asked him about that. Some of you may know, if you hip hop and you've heard that Sex and Violence album, Boogie Down Productionz, Sex and Violence, that song, he had a song called 13 and Good. It's a story, granted it was a story. A weird story about an older man messing with a younger girl, and it's actually a video for it. Like, they did a video for it. So who knows how deep these rabbit holes go. And another individual who Star had on his show, this individual trying to clear the air, was Grandmaster Flash, another pioneering DJ. These are pioneers. In his book, he spoke of a relationship with a young girl. I think he was 19, she was 13. Her name was Sweet Pea. He spoke on that. He kind of cleared it up with Star. That's a video you can look up. Grandmaster Flash and Star, put that in. You'll hear him speak. He tried to clear it up. Like I said, Flash is a legend. We like Flash, right? But he spoke on it. Said her mom even smacked him in the head for trying to mess with her daughter, and then he stayed around, and eventually got in a relationship, and he got her. And I'm not sure if they got married, but they grew old together, kind of. I think she passed away now. Rest in peace, the Sweet Pea. These are the old school days of New York when that took place. But Flash was 19, she was 13. I don't know. It's crazy. But these are the stories that's out there. These are just the underbelly of hip hop. Beyond the glamour and glitz is the hip hop dark side of hip hop. And this video is at an end. Hope you enjoyed it. Just want to bring you a little information to the channel. Drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on another video. Peace.